The scene opens with Ethan at his design desk, meticulously sketching the final touches on a new product line. His workspace is organized, with multiple sketches, prototypes, and final designs laid out across his desk. The camera lingers on his focused expression, showcasing his dedication and attention to detail. As Ethan stands up and walks to a large design board, he adds the finishing touches to a product concept. The camera zooms in on the smooth lines and innovative features of the design, highlighting how it stands out among others. Ethan is then seen in a meeting room, confidently presenting his latest product designs to a group of executives and colleagues. He speaks with clarity and enthusiasm, explaining the functionality and unique selling points of the products. The team reacts positively, nodding and asking insightful questions. His boss, who is sitting at the head of the table, shows signs of approval, smiling, and even making encouraging remarks. The camera captures Ethan's pride as he watches his colleagues admire his work, the feeling of validation building in the room. As the camera pans through the office, Ethan walks past the rows of products he designed, now on display and selling well. The camera zooms in on a few best-selling products, their success a direct result of his creative vision. Ethan's face shows quiet pride as he sees how much impact his designs have had on the company's bottom line. The products are not just items, they are a reflection of his hard work, talent, and years of dedication. He feels secure in his position and in the belief that his contributions are integral to the company's success. However, as Ethan sits back down at his desk, the camera subtly shifts to reveal a faint tension in the air. Ethan glances across the room at his boss, who is now seated in his office, looking over paperwork. The boss seems distant, his gaze fixed on his computer screen, rather than engaging with Ethan or offering praise. Ethan's smile fades slightly. Sensing an undercurrent of change, the success of his designs is undeniable. The growing distance between him and his boss begins to make him question what might be coming next. The scene opens in a small conference room. Ethan is sitting across from his boss, a notepad and laptop open in front of him. The camera focuses on Ethan's face as he listens intently, waiting for feedback on his latest design project. The boss, who once praised Ethan's work, now looks distant, his eyes scanning the designs in front of him with a critical expression. The camera zooms in on the boss as he begins speaking in a tone that is vague and unenthusiastic. "Ethan, these designs, they're fine, but I just don't think they're creative enough," the boss says, his voice lacking the usual encouragement. The camera captures Ethan's confusion as he absorbs the words. He's taken aback by the lack of specifics in the feedback. Ethan had worked tirelessly on these designs, which had been among the best-selling products for the company, yet his boss's comments are unclear, offering no constructive suggestions. As the meeting continues, the camera shows the boss waving, his hand dismissively over the designs, muttering, "They're okay, but I think we need something more. Fresh. More innovative. Can you come up with something different?" Ethan's face shifts between confusion and frustration, the harsh criticism feeling completely unfounded. The designs were successful, he knew that, yet the feedback he's receiving doesn't acknowledge the results or the effort he's put in. The camera captures Ethan's internal struggle as he tries to make sense of the situation. The boss continues, "We need something more bold. Think outside the box. I just don't see it here." Ethan attempts to explain the rationale behind his designs, how they're perfectly aligned with current trends and the market needs, but his boss cuts him off. "I'm just not convinced," the boss responds, leaning back in his chair. Offering no further guidance or specifics, Ethan's frustration mounts. The feedback is not only vague, but also contradictory. His designs were driving sales, and yet his boss is questioning his creativity without giving him any tangible direction to improve. The camera captures Ethan's face as he forces a polite smile, but internally, he's unsure of how to respond. This meeting, which was supposed to provide constructive feedback, has only left him more confused and uncertain. As Ethan walks out of the room, the camera lingers on his face, showing his frustration and the growing sense of doubt. The scene opens with Ethan walking down a familiar hallway, his footsteps echoing softly on the polished floor. The camera captures his calm demeanor as he approaches his boss's office, expecting a routine performance review, something he's had many times before. He knocks on the door and enters, offering a friendly greeting. His boss is seated behind a desk, papers neatly arranged in front of him. The atmosphere in the room feels tense, and Ethan immediately senses something is off. The camera lingers on Ethan's face as he notices the cold, impassive expression on his boss's face. As Ethan takes a seat, he prepares himself for a discussion about the project he's been working on. However, the conversation takes an unexpected turn. His boss looks up from the papers and, without much introduction, delivers the shocking news. "Ethan, we've decided to let you go. We feel that you've been lacking in creativity lately, and your recent work just isn't meeting the expectations we need." The camera zooms in on Ethan's face as the words sink in. His eyes widen in disbelief, and his mouth opens slightly, unable to fully comprehend the statement. The boss continues, explaining that the decision is final, citing creativity as the primary reason for his dismissal. Ethan's mind races as he struggles to process the words. The very designs that he worked tirelessly on products that had become the company's best sellers are now being dismissed as uncreative. The camera shows Ethan's hands tightening into fists, the shock and frustration clear on his face. Ethan tries to speak, his voice faltering as he asks, "How can you say that? These products have been the backbone of the company's success. How is it possible that my creativity is in question?" But his boss only offers a cold response, repeating that the decision has been made. Ethan's confusion deepens as he tries to rationalize the situation. How could his years of dedication, his designs that directly contributed to the company's revenue, be so easily dismissed? As the conversation continues, the camera shows Ethan's internal conflict. His pride in his work has been shattered in an instant, replaced by a feeling of deep betrayal. The boss seems indifferent, and Ethan's frustration grows with each passing second. The camera focuses on Ethan's face as he tries to hold back his anger and disappointment. He walks out of the office, the weight of the news settling heavily on his shoulders. The camera lingers on his back as he walks down the hallway. His posture now slumped, his dedication and creativity have been dismissed, and he can't understand how his success could be overlooked in favor of this vague, unjust criticism. The scene opens with Ethan at home, sitting at his kitchen table surrounded by a stack of papers, performance reports, and emails from the past several months. The camera shows Ethan scrolling through his email inbox, the screen filled with performance reviews, project updates, and emails from his boss. As he reads through the correspondence, his face slowly shifts from confusion to growing frustration. He furrows his brow, his eyes scanning each email with more intensity as he tries to make sense of what just happened. The camera cuts to a close-up of the screen as Ethan opens an email chain between the boss and other senior executives at the company. The emails discuss upcoming product lines and mentions Ethan's recent success with the designs. Ethan's expression changes as he reads one email from his boss, subtly referring to the increasing attention Ethan is receiving for his creative work. The next few emails are filled with comments about shifting focus and adjusting team dynamics. It's in these emails that Ethan begins to notice the subtle hints his boss had been increasingly worried about being overshadowed by Ethan's success. Ethan pauses, his eyes narrowing in realization as he pieces the timeline together. He clicks open more emails, each revealing more subtle attempts from his boss to downplay Ethan's success. Offering vague feedback or passing credit for the products to others, the camera zooms in on Ethan's face as his anger builds. Sense of betrayal becomes palpable. He was not fired for a lack of creativity, but because his boss felt threatened by his success. Ethan's achievements, the very designs that had made the company's best sellers, had made his boss feel insecure, fearing that his own position was at risk. The camera follows Ethan as he stands up, pacing the room, unable to contain his frustration. The emails are clear. Ethan's success in the company, while celebrated by everyone else, had made him a target for office politics. His boss, once impressed with Ethan's creativity, had now turned against him, seeing him as a threat to his own authority. Ethan clenches his jaw as the anger simmers. He had been dismissed not because of his lack of creativity, but because his boss feared losing control. His years of hard work and dedication had been overshadowed by petty jealousy and insecurity. The camera captures Ethan's clenched fist, his frustration boiling over as he continues to piece together the truth. The realization that he was fired not for his abilities, but because of office politics feels like a punch to the gut. The camera lingers on Ethan's face as the betrayal fully sinks in. The raw emotion of being let down by the very system he had invested so much in. The scene ends with Ethan sitting back down, staring at the screen, his face a mixture of anger, disbelief, and the painful sting of being used for his talents, only to be discarded when he became too much of a threat. The scene opens with Ethan sitting at his kitchen table, his phone buzzing in front of him. The camera focuses on his phone screen as his boss's name flashes on the caller ID. Ethan stares at it for a moment, his face neutral, before answering the call. The boss's voice on the other end is filled with desperation and regret. "I know I messed up. I was wrong. I should never have let you go." The camera shows Ethan's face, his expression calm but clearly unaffected by the apology. The boss continues, offering a slew of promises. "Please, I'm sorry. We need you back. We'll offer you a higher salary, more responsibility. I'll make sure you have the recognition you deserve." The camera cuts to a close-up of Ethan's hand resting on the table, his fingers tapping gently, signaling his internal thoughts. He listens intently to his boss's pleas, but there's no visible sign of emotion. The boss continues, his voice increasingly frantic. "I'll make things right, Ethan. I'll ensure you get the creative freedom you deserve. Just come back, please." The camera lingers on Ethan's face as the phone call continues, but their face remains composed, but there's a coldness in his eyes. Ethan knows that no amount of money or promises can undo the betrayal he feels. The offer of a higher salary and a senior position seems meaningless now, as he recalls the disrespect he faced and the insecurity of his boss that led to his dismissal. The camera captures Ethan's silence as he processes his boss's words, his hands tightening into a firm grip. He's made his decision, and no matter how many times his boss calls, the betrayal runs too deep. Ethan calmly interrupts his boss, saying, "I appreciate your offer, but I've moved on. I've already learned that my worth isn't tied to a company that doesn't respect me. No amount of money or position can change that." The camera shifts between Ethan's calm demeanor and the boss's desperate voice on the other end. Realizing that Ethan is resolute in his decision, the call ends with Ethan firmly saying goodbye before hanging up. Leaving no room for further negotiation, the camera follows Ethan as he stands up, placing the phone back on the table. He looks out the window, his face now showing a sense of calm resolution. He knows that walking away from the company was the right choice, and the road ahead will be on his terms. The camera pulls back, capturing Ethan standing tall. Knowing that he's free from the betrayal and ready for what's next, the scene opens with Ethan attending a bustling industry event, his demeanor confident and assured as he reconnects with former colleagues and fellow designers. The camera shows him exchanging business cards, engaging in thoughtful discussions about the latest design trends, and attending workshops to sharpen his skills. Ethan is not just participating, he's taking an active role, positioning himself as a knowledgeable and passionate figure in the design community. The camera captures his face as he listens to others, offering his insights with confidence. And it's clear that he's well respected in the industry. The next scene shows Ethan in a small modern office space, working late into the evening. The room is filled with sketches, design prototypes, and product samples, a clear sign of Ethan's creativity and vision. The camera lingers on his focused expression as he hones his ideas, finally putting his full energy into what he loves, most designing products that make a real impact. His face shows the satisfaction of being able to follow his own creative vision without the constraints of the company that let him go. As the scene progresses, Ethan is seen confidently presenting his new design concepts to potential clients. The camera captures their reactions, nodding, asking thoughtful questions, and praising his innovative approach. Ethan stands tall, making his case with clarity and conviction. clearly demonstrating that his creativity and skills have only grown stronger since he left his old company. The camera zooms in on the handshake at the end of the meeting, signifying the first successful partnership Ethan has secured on his own terms. Later, camera shifts to show Ethan working with his first team of designers. He's now leading a small dynamic group in his own design firm. The team collaborates on new projects, bouncing ideas off each other, and Ethan's leadership shines through as he encourages their creativity and innovation. His office is alive with energy, and Ethan can be seen reviewing designs, offering feedback, and making decisions that will shape the future of his business. The final shot shows Ethan sitting at his desk, looking at the contracts he signed with new clients. He leans back in his chair, taking a deep breath, and smiles knowing that he's rebuilt his career on his own terms. He has reclaimed his autonomy and is now in full control of his future. The camera pulls back to reveal Ethan standing by the window, looking out over the city with a sense of pride and anticipation. The scene opens with Ethan in a sleek conference room, shaking hands with a high-profile client. The camera captures the moment the contract is signed, a clear symbol of the new opportunities Ethan has secured. His face shows pride and confidence as he locks eyes with the client sealing the deal. The camera pulls back, showing the atmosphere of the meeting professional, focused and full of potential. Ethan's energy is infectious, and his presence commands respect as the client nods approvingly. The camera shifts to Ethan confidently presenting his new designs in another meeting. He stands at the head of the table, presenting a series of innovative product concepts to a group of executives. His slides are clear, detailed, and visually striking. The camera pans over the faces of the clients and partners as they lean forward, visibly impressed with his creative vision. His passion for design shines through, and the feedback he receives is overwhelmingly positive. The camera captures Ethan's smile, the satisfaction of seeing his work appreciated by others who truly understand his value. As Ethan moves through the next scene, we see him leading a team of designers on a new project. He's fully in control, guiding the team with clarity and providing feedback that encourages growth and innovation. The camera focuses on the interaction between Ethan and his team collaborative, open and driven by a shared passion for creativity. The atmosphere is charged with energy and excitement, a stark contrast to the environment at his old company. His leadership is evident in how the team respects him and follows his direction. Later, Ethan is seen reviewing a contract on his desk, this time for a large-scale partnership with another prestigious client. The camera zooms in on the terms of the contract, showing how his consulting business has flourished. He's no longer just an employee, he's a creative leader, designing products that align with his values and vision. The camera captures Ethan's satisfied expression as he leans back in his chair, a moment of reflection as he recognizes the true depth of his success. In the final scene, Ethan is seen walking through a design studio, reviewing prototypes for a new product line. Space is vibrant and full of life, showcasing designs that are a reflection of his unique vision. The camera shows Ethan interacting with the team, discussing ideas and offering guidance. As he looks at the prototypes, there's a sense of fulfillment in his eyes. He's created something of his own, and it's far more meaningful than anything he could have achieved at his previous job. The camera captures Ethan standing tall in front of his designs, now in full control of his career and his future. The scene opens with Ethan sitting at his sleek modern desk in his new office. The camera shows him calmly typing on his laptop, his face composed but focused. The room is quiet, the only sound being the clicking of the keys as Ethan writes his final email to his former boss. The camera captures his fingers, pausing for a moment over the keys, contemplating the words he's about to send. His expression is calm but firm. There's no hesitation in his decision, only a sense of clarity and peace. As the camera zooms in on the email draft, the screen shows Ethan's message. Dear boss's name, I want to take a moment to thank you for the opportunities provided to me during my time at company name. I truly value the experiences and skills I gained. However, after much reflection, I have decided to move on and pursue new opportunities that align more closely with my personal and professional goals. I appreciate all the support throughout the years, but I am confident that I have made the right decision for my future. Thank you once again for the experience. I wish you and the company all the best going forward. Best regards, Ethan. The camera lingers on Ethan's face as he reads over the message one last time. A sense of calm settles over him as he hits send, the finality of the action clear in the quiet determination on his face. The camera cuts to his hands as he sits back in his chair, breathing out slowly, feeling a sense of closure wash over him. The scene transitions to Ethan standing up from his desk. Stretching slightly and looking out the window at the city, the camera captures his face serene and peaceful. The weight of the past decision is gone, replaced by the freedom and confidence that come with moving forward. As he looks out at the horizon, the camera lingers on him for a moment before cutting to a wider shot, showing Ethan standing tall, fully in control of his future. The final visual is of Ethan walking out of the office with purpose, heading toward new opportunities. The camera captures him, leaving the building, stepping confidently into the unknown, his face filled with optimism. The scene begins with Ethan sitting in a cozy corner of his office, surrounded by shelves of design books, inspiration boards, and past projects. The camera shows Ethan flipping through an old sketchbook, each page filled with designs and concepts from his time at his previous company. As he pauses on one of the designs, the product that had been a huge success, the camera captures a subtle smile on his face, a mix of pride and nostalgia. The camera slowly zooms in on his face, capturing a quiet moment of reflection. The camera then cuts to Ethan looking out the window, watching the cityscape below. His posture is relaxed, but his gaze is steady, filled with a sense of clarity. As he reflects on his journey, the camera flashes back to moments from his past. His firing, the confusion and frustration he felt, and the process of rebuilding his career. Each image is fleeting, but they serve as a reminder of the pain and growth that came from those experiences. Despite the difficult moments, the camera now shows Ethan smiling softly. Acknowledging how far he's come, Ethan's hand reaches for a framed photo on his desk, image of him with his new team. In front of a design that he's proud of, the camera captures his fingers resting on the frame, the pride and fulfillment in his expression evident as he looks at the photo. It symbolizes the success he's built on his own terms, a stark contrast to the uncertainty he once faced. The camera follows Ethan as he stands up and walks over to his desk, where he reviews new client contracts and future projects. He pauses, takes a deep breath, and looks out the window again. His face now reflects a deep sense of peace and confidence. He has learned that his value is not defined by a company or a job title, but by his creativity, integrity, and ability to create something meaningful on his own. The camera zooms in on Ethan's face as he says to himself, almost as if a realization is fully set in, I'm in control now. The scene opens with Ethan standing in his spacious modern office. The camera captures him from behind, gazing out through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Watching the city stretch out before him, the horizon is bathed in golden light, symbolizing the possibilities that lie ahead. The office is minimalistic, with a few personal touches of framed design of his latest project, a few awards, and a simple desk that reflects his new journey. The camera lingers on Ethan's silhouette, his posture confident and unburdened. As Ethan stands there, the camera pans slowly to show the reflection of the city in the glass window, symbolizing the expansive opportunities in front of him. He's no longer a part of a corporate machine that dismissed his creativity. Instead, he's in control, fully owning the success he's built. There's a sense of quiet pride on his face as he takes in the view, knowing that he has achieved this success on his own terms. The scene transitions to Ethan sitting at his desk, reviewing documents for an upcoming project. He's now the leader of his own design firm, making decisions that reflect his creativity and vision. The camera shows him interacting with clients, offering new design concepts, and receiving positive feedback. Ethan's confidence is evident as he presents ideas that reflect his true creative potential, something he wasn't able to express fully at his previous company. Later, the camera shows Ethan walking through the office, speaking with his team of designers. He listens attentively to their ideas, encouraging creativity and collaboration. He's no longer just an employee. He's a mentor, helping others reach their full potential, just as he once hoped for the same opportunities. The camera zooms in on Ethan's face, which now carries the warmth of someone who has found not only success, but also fulfillment. His decisions, his direction, and his future are now in his hands. The final shot shows Ethan standing in front of a new, larger office window, looking out at the city again, this time with a calm smile on his face. The camera pans out, leaving him standing strong and empowered. He's free from the constraints of a company that failed to recognize his worth. Ethan has built something meaningful, a legacy that reflects his true creativity and leadership. The best is yet to come, and Ethan is ready for whatever challenges lie ahead.